Welcome to Inside the 87's, your home for updates of one of the top junior hockey programs in the EHL, located in the hockey hotbed of New Jersey, where hockey players are molded for the next level, the 87 way.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Inside the 87's. My name is Anthony DiPaolo, and this week, our digital content creator, Alyssa Morrison, will have a chat with defenseman Georgie Weiner and Bryan Van Ness. Later, we'll introduce a new segment where we have the top 10 plays of the year for both the EHL and Premier teams. So we'll send it over to Alyssa. This is Inside the 87's.
I'm here with Georgie Weiner, and I'm going to let him give himself a little introduction.
What's up, everyone? My name is Georgie Weiner. You can call me Georgie. That's what everyone calls me. I'm 19 years old. I'm from Wayne, New Jersey, and I'm a defenseman for the New Jersey 87's.
Awesome. So do you want to give us a little insight about how you got your start in hockey?
Actually, I'm the first person in my family to ever really play hockey. It's always been basketball and baseball. But I don't know, I was just a little kid hanging out with a family friend from back when I was little. And he had two older brothers, and they were just playing hockey, and I just fell in love with it from playing in their basement. Started going to Devils games with my dad. His company had season tickets, so I just kind of fell in love with it that way from a young age.
That's awesome. So did you start off as a defenseman, or were you
No, I was actually a forward my whole life up until my first year of Bantam, which is 13U. And
Wow.
and my coach asked if I wanted to try out defense. I was a little offended at first, didn't really think I wasn't happy about it, but it turned out for the best. I think they all said that they could see it in my skating and how I play, and I guess they were right because I think I'm a better defenseman than I was forward. So
That's awesome. So we talked a little bit yesterday about your career in junior hockey. Do you want to start off by giving a little insight about how you got into juniors and then your, junior career as of right now?
So, obviously juniors is different than hockey is different than any other sport. We don't really go to college right away. And that was hard for my family to learn about because they weren't really a hockey family. So from a young age, I knew that's what I wanted to do, but my parents weren't really too sure about it up until hockey got more serious around when I was 16. And they were like, all right, if he wants to play in college, that's what he's got to do. And so I was didn't really have a plan, was just going to go to some main camps. I went out to Corpus Christi in Texas at the end of my senior year just to practice with them. And that didn't really work out. So I ended up having an advisor from the time who was out from Vancouver. So he got me out to a camp in Alberta for the AJHL in Grand Prairie. And I ended up making it there, stayed about 2 weeks before they sent me to another team in Calgary that they thought would fit better for me. It was in the same league. And I was there for about 3 weeks. It was an awesome experience being so different from over here. It was just really cool. I met a lot of cool people. Canada's a really cool place. Calgary is a really cool city. It's really awesome. I ended up getting released from there at the end of September and came back, played for the Junior Titans 18U team for that season, and then was able to get a few games with the NAL team at the end of the year for the Titans. And then that's kind of how I got connected with the 87's as well, because they play out of the same rink and all the coaches basically work together. So it worked out in my favor.
Wow, that's awesome. So I kind of have two questions going off from that story. One would be, what is the major differences between 18U and juniors?
I'd say the biggest difference is just everyone's older, everyone's more mature, and you're playing against a lot older people than you're used to. So the biggest thing is just probably strength and speed. Everyone's when you're playing 18U, there's a lot of skilled kids. Everyone's good still, but everyone's just much older, and it's just a lot more physical, a lot stronger. And obviously the schedule is a lot more strict. When you're playing 18U hockey, you're still going to high school, and you could play. I played high school and club, and but you're at the rink with your team. I don't know how much regular 18U teams practice during the week, but mine was 2 or 3, and now I'm at the rink every single day of the week. And it's a grind, but it's for me, so I love it.
Yeah. And then my other question would be, how did you bounce back from being let go from a team? I know that is really difficult for some players to swallow. But how did you, I guess, find motivation to still pursue your dream in hockey?
I don't know. I mean, it was definitely really tough. It was a lot, and it took me a while to really get over it. But I don't know. I mean, I felt like I've been kind of underrated my whole life, and so it wasn't anything. I mean, I've never been cut really like that, but so that was new to me. But people not thinking I'm good enough was always something I was used to. So I just did what I always did and just put it behind me. And I was like, well, if they don't think I'm good enough, I'll prove to someone else that I'm good enough. So my dream is to play college hockey, so I wasn't going to let the one person ruin that for me.
Yeah, for sure. And now you're at a home, which is the 87's, that accept you
Yeah.
and really want you to play for them. So going off of that, how has the 87's impacted your hockey career, your personal life, all of that stuff?
I think the 87s has really made my life greater in every aspect. The hockey part, I didn't know from playing in the same rink. I was around Hooley and Coach Maddie a lot, but I didn't really know them personally. But I reached out to them, and they were welcoming right away. And talking to them from the beginning of the season, they always made me feel comfortable. I had no problems going in if I had issues or anything. They're very open. They just make everyone comfortable. They want everyone to be happy and feel comfortable, and they did a great job of that. And just the whole team experience, like so how we do it, we don't really have billets. We all live in these 4 rented houses down in Deal, New Jersey, which is right on the beach. The houses are all in like a mile radius, so we're all super close to each other. And just I met friends that I'll have for the rest of my life, and I think so in every aspect, it's really been an awesome impact on my life.
Oh, that is so, so good to hear, because I've heard some players' experience are alone just terrible because of the people they were surrounded by. And it's
Oh
so
yeah,
clear
for sure.
that the 87's like welcome you and really treat it as a brotherhood.
Mhm.
So do you want to kind of touch on, I know we talked about your coaches and how they're welcoming, they make you feel really comfortable, but what would you say is their coaching style? How do they approach certain situations?
Um, I think their coaching style is that they do a good job of this, and this is more what makes the 87s different than other programs. It's more of a culture than just a team,
Hmm.
and so it's really they're big on everyone buying into the same thing, and that's what made last year so special because we had a group that everyone knew what their role was, and it's not like okay we're going to rely on these 2 guys to win the game. They make it that everyone has an impact, but it's everyone's job to buy in. And once we did that, it worked out well with their coaching staff, and everyone was bought in. From our first line to our fourth, top D to bottom D, everyone knew what they had to do and what their responsibilities were, and they made that clear. So I think that helped out a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And do you think when you started at the 87's, do you think you kind of knew the role you were going to take on, or did you grow into it, or what kind of player are you to that team?
I think last year I had an idea of what kind of role I would be in, but Hooley and Maddie made it really clear for me that they would treat me almost as like a veteran because I had some junior experience in me at different levels. And even though I was like a rookie, considered a rookie on the team, I had that kind of leverage and they didn't really have a leash on me. So I was able to play my game, but I found more success when I was buying into their system than playing their game. But throughout the season, I got a lot more comfortable with the junior style and my teammates and how they play. And so, I mean, I had a pretty good idea of where my spot was going to be. And I think their support just made me bring my level to the best it could be in that spot.
That's so great. Now I kind of want to talk about, since you've been in a couple different leagues throughout your hockey career, what separates the EHL for you?
I think it's just the exposure. I mean, they have so many. None of these leagues have these. They usually have one showcase a year where everyone's in the same building, and that's obviously big for scouts. But we have 5 of them throughout the year, so you have 5 opportunities to. It's 10 games, showcase games where almost every school in the country is there, and you have really good opportunities to be noticed.
Right, right. So you mentioned that you are interested in playing college hockey. Do you have a couple schools in mind?
I mean, yeah, I do. I mean, academics has always been pretty big to me, so I would love to play at like a NESCAC school, one of those higher academic level schools. And I just, obviously hockey's important, but there's life after hockey, so that's pretty important to me.
Yeah, for sure. And I think a lot of players are kind of in that position where they don't know where to draw the line between going to school to play hockey and then going for, their life after hockey. So I think
Yeah.
that's really great that you touched on that. So kind of separating away from the team and the 87s and the EHL, I want to talk about you. What have you
Okay.
been doing in quarantine to keep up with your skills, to stay motivated and all that stuff?
I mean, it's definitely tough, and it's not normal at all. So I've had to make some changes, but I'm lucky enough I have kind of like a gym in my basement. So I've been working out every day of the week, basically down there, because I need to keep training, and there's nothing else to do. So it's like, why might as well just get an extra workout in. And I have a net down there too, and I have some wood in the ground, so I shoot pucks too. But it's definitely been tough not skating, but I'm trying to make up for it in other ways, like trying to make my diet better. That's definitely one tough thing during the year with living on their own. I'm not a great chef, so my roommate, I'm more of like, I can make eggs and pasta. That's about it.
Oh
Being
my
home
God.
is definitely helping so I'm trying to get my my appetite better and stuff like that. So
Yeah. So what have you been doing to help yourself mentally?
mentally, I mean, it's definitely been tough. I'm going kind of crazy. The first couple of weeks it was awesome. I was like, oh, I just sit in my room, play Xbox all day, like this is the life. But now I'm getting pretty sick of it. But I've been reading a lot of books. That helps me a lot, which is surprising because I probably didn't read one book in high school. But now that I get to pick the books I like to read, like I'm actually pretty interested. I go outside and read for a little bit, or I go on walks. So I meet up with some of my friends and we go for a walk around the lake by our neighborhood. But it's basically it, that playing Xbox and just hanging out.
So that's actually kind of the answer that Matt Polinsky gave. He was the first interview. So with you guys, working on yourself, working on your physicality, mentally, emotionally, how do you think all of that is going to play into next season?
I think it really depends on what everyone's doing. I mean, I know that our team obviously keeps in touch, and we're all been working out, so I think it could benefit in a great way. We're all like, I'm in probably some of the best shape of my life right now, just because I have nothing to do besides work out. And I know that we all keep in touch. Everyone's been working out. We actually have like our old team from last year, a lot of the vets and some of the returners. We've all doing like the push-up challenge. We send on May 1st, we sent a video of all of us doing as many push-ups as we can. And then June 1st, we have to see how many more we can do. So I think our team's really doing a good job of staying in shape, and that's going to help a lot coming up to the season, because who knows, a lot of people could probably not be taking advantage of this time like we are.
Yeah, that's awesome that you guys are all kind of pitching in and doing your part to, come together later on. So that was kind of it for the pre-planned questions, but these are the ones that are kind of going to be a surprise to you because I didn't tell you. So I asked on my Instagram for your followers and my followers to ask me questions about you. One question that I got actually kind of a lot was, how do you balance a relationship with junior hockey?
Well, it's tough. Sometimes my girlfriend, she's from the same town as me. So I knew her growing up, and she actually goes out to Indiana University, which is pretty far. But it's tough, like just not seeing her every day, the long distance. But we text all throughout the day. We FaceTime all the time. So we make the best of it. And she comes. I haven't been out to visit her yet, just because I don't really have any off weekends and stuff. And I was planning on visiting her after the season ended, but obviously she's home now and all that. But she comes out whenever she's home. She comes down, comes to the games, and hangs out with us. So we're making it easy.
And I know like a lot of players who are, going into their first year of juniors, a lot of them are kind of breaking off their relationship because they feel like it's not going to be as easy as you're making it seem. But would you recommend to just even try it?
I mean, yeah, I definitely think give it a shot. And if it doesn't work out, then that's probably what would have happened anyway. But if it's meant to be, I think you can figure it out.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then my last question is, has Adam, your coach, ever scared you? And if so, describe that time.
Scared me? I'd say this is not really related to hockey, but the scariest moment I had personally was when we all left our houses in Deal to go home at the end of the season. I was the last of my roommates to leave, and it was the last day, and I'm walking around the house, and I'm like, damn, like oh, sorry, I don't know if I can.
No, it's okay. I'll leave it out.
All right, I was like, I'm like, it's a mess. And I was like, oh, like everyone else left all their stuff around. Like I'll clean a little bit, but like whatever, I'm just gonna leave. And I was like, we messed up the house a little bit. There was like a giant hole in the wall. I was like, we're not getting the security deposit back anyway. Like I'm not gonna waste my time cleaning. I'll just go home. And then I'm sitting in bed. It's probably like 3 days later, and me and one of my roommates just get a text in the group chat from Hooli, like freaking out, like, are you guys kidding me? Like, I'm gonna get sued. This house is a mess. And so I FaceTime my friend, and we're sitting I'm literally in the same spot in my bed, and I'm talking to him on FaceTime, and I just get like a ding, and it's in the group, and we're both getting it's just different pictures of every room, and we're just sitting there looking at it for like 5 minutes straight, and we're like, oh god. And it turns out I was the only one who was actually, he's like, you guys need to come down right now, because I live an hour and a half from there, so I had to drive down there, and my roommate couldn't go, but I was thinking, I was like, all right, I'll go down there by myself. I'll clean it up. And I get down there, and I get in the driveway. I pull up to the house, and Adam's truck is sitting in the driveway. And I was like, oh, boy.
Oh.
I was like, oh, my God. I was so scared. I was like, this is not good. And I sat in my car outside for like 5 minutes, just like, all right, like, this is not going to be good. And I went in, and it actually turned out to be his wife who was there helping me clean the house. Rachel, she's the nicest lady ever. She actually does all her hair. She dyed all her hair. So, and she basically saved my life cleaning the house, but I was super scared.
That story scared me for you.
Yeah. Like when I pulled up and his car was there, I was like, no way. I was like, no way. But I don't know. I haven't really been scared of him that many times. He's definitely yelled a few times. I think a funny story is one time we were playing, and we ended up winning the game in overtime, but we were playing a team that was at the bottom of the division. They weren't, so we didn't play that well. And he just comes in the locker room, and he goes, when I was your guys' age, none of you could fucking touch me. I was so much better than all of you.
Oh, my God.
And that's something we still joke around with each other. The boys, we always say that to each other today. So
that's so funny. Yeah, he definitely seems like a very fun coach, but also disciplined, which is like the perfect combination.
Yeah, and I think he's not. If you prove to him that like what that you want to be there and you're there for the right reasons and you are really passionate about it, he'll be hard on you, but for the right reasons, and you'll understand that. Like one time, we had a practice. We had a Wednesday game. We had a practice the day before. We had Thursday off, and then we had practice Friday. And we're sitting in practice Friday. We won the game. I knew I didn't have a great game, but we won. Like everyone was kind of light spirited, and like we're sitting around the board, and he's talking about how we have to be better in practice because it leads to being better in games. And then he just called me out. He's like, Georgie, you had a shit practice on Tuesday, and that's why you had a shit game on Wednesday. And obviously that startled me a little bit, but I understood. And he said I could say that to him because I know what his aspirations are, and that what makes it special is I know he wasn't being mean, but maybe I needed to hear that, and I picked it up after that. But I knew that he was just saying that to better me. So I think he's really good at controlling that situation and not trying to. A lot of coaches seems like they're against you if they're freaking out on you, but I knew in that situation he was just doing it to help me. So, but it was a little
that's awesome.
Too.
Like you guys have that bond that's like you know when to crack down, be serious, and then you know when you can have a good time and joke about it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much for hopping on with me and doing this interview. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. I will see you during the season.
Yep, sounds good.
So I'm here with Bryan Van Ness, and do you want to give a little introduction about yourself?
Well, I'm Bryan Van Ness. I'm 19 years old. I'm from New York City.
Perfect. So I know you were an 18U kid before entering juniors. Do you want to talk about the differences between those types of hockey?
Well, in 18s, it was a lot slower. And I noticed for sure that, especially with like the teams, it was not as close with the guys. With the 87s, I'm just more close with everyone, and you skate every day. So,
yeah. So besides I guess work ethic, is there any major differences that you would kind of warn other players that are looking to play into juniors?
Well, I would just say just getting bigger and stronger. Like everyone's bigger and stronger in juniors compared to 18s. Everything's faster. You just got to make decisions quicker.
How would you describe your first year of juniors? Do you think you were prepared, coming in from that arena to this arena?
I thought I was pretty prepared. I skated a lot during the summer before, so I came in, I was ready to go. but it was still an adjustment. But
Yeah, for sure. Do you want to describe your process of getting signed to the 87's actually?
well, so I went to the Titans main camp, and they just found me there. So I signed there pretty much
Yeah.
right away.
So what would you say your role on the team is?
I say I can do pretty much anything, honestly. Or last year at least, I went up and down the lineup. I could play whatever role needed, really.
Mm-hmm. Would you say, so I talked to actually Matt Belinsky and I talked to
Yeah.
George Weiner, and they would say like George was more like took a leadership role, and then Matt was kind of like a more communicative role. Would you say like you're more of a like off ice pumping up the guys, or putting in the work on the ice?
I'd say it's a little bit of both. I
Mhm.
just try off the ice. I just try to be close with everyone and not just be. I'm probably not as much as a vocal leader as
Mhm.
some other guys, but I just try to do my job and show everyone else what
Yeah,
to
for
do.
sure. So what would you say separates the EHL from any other junior league at that level?
Well, I would say, we're skating every day. I'd say all the competition, like the league from top to bottom for the most part, it's like really even.
Mm-hmm.
The competition's all the games are always close. Like you never know really who's gonna win.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think that in terms of commitments to colleges, that would also be like a positive for the EHL over any other league?
Oh, definitely. There's so many kids. Like even during, like after the season ended, I've seen so many people just committing, and more than anywhere else, honestly.
Is that one of your goals, is to go to university or play college hockey?
Definitely, for sure.
Have you started looking at colleges?
Not yet, but I will. I'm gonna soon.
Yeah, this
Next
year
goal.
is like your time, right? To
Yeah, this
start.
is my year. Yeah.
Yeah. So would you say that kind of like what you want to do academically, or are you going to go specifically to play hockey?
I'm not positive yet, but I think I would like to study something like sports medicine,
Oh
something
my
like
God, that's
that.
awesome. Yeah. Are you going to try and stay on the East Coast, or do you want to move around?
I can go wherever. It doesn't really
Yeah.
matter to me. Yeah.
Well, I know that you are in a relationship, and I asked
Yeah.
George kind of like the same question. How would you say balancing a relationship and a girlfriend is in junior hockey? Because I know you even said like you practice every day.
Yeah.
So how would you say that balance incorporates with your hockey life?
Well, for me, I don't think it was as hard because my girlfriend went to Sacred Heart, so it wasn't that far for me. So I could see her a decent amount still, and it was just talking every day, FaceTime.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
so other than your major, and you obviously have a social life, a great social life going for you, what are you doing to prepare for the upcoming season physically and mentally?
Well, right now there's not much to do for me, especially because everything in the city is like closed.
Yeah.
So I've just been roller skating around everywhere, just skating
Yeah.
a lot. That's
Have you
all I've
done
been.
anything like mentally to like, I guess, prepare you? Like I know some of the guys on your team are reading books to kind of get more motivated, or they're playing video games just to keep their mind off things. Are you doing anything like that?
I've been playing a decent amount of video games.
Yeah.
But I've also been, yeah, a decent amount. I've also been trying to watch like as much hockey as possible.
Yeah,
So it's
that's a great
on
way to like
YouTube.
study. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was kind of it for the normal questions. And these are the two questions that
All right.
some of your Instagram followers and my Instagram followers asked. I actually got two questions that were kind of similar, so I mashed them into one.
All right.
One is, have you ever had a major injury in hockey?
Yes, I've had two pretty big ones.
Whoa,
Actually.
do you want to tell those stories?
Yeah. So my first year of 18s, we were at a tournament in Calgary, and I got hit from behind, and I dislocated my elbow. So that
my
one
God.
stunk. That one hurt a lot.
Yeah.
And then about 2 months later, I dislocated my shoulder, and I had to have
Oh
surgery
my
on that,
gosh.
on the same arm too. So
That's crazy. That's like you're getting like baseball player injuries, like pitcher
yeah, no,
injuries.
yeah, it was weird.
Yeah. Okay. So the other question that I actually found really interesting is, who is your role model in the hockey community?
In the hockey community, I would say honestly, maybe my dad or my grandfather. A lot of most of my family played hockey, so
Oh, you're
I
from a
just
hockey family then.
yeah. So like my whole family played, so I've just been looking up to them my whole life pretty much.
What would be like something that you'll always remember your dad or your grandpa saying to you?
Saying to me, I don't know. I think just like little things on the ice, they just help, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
whether it's just like working on certain stuff that works or whatever, they just help me out all the time.
Mm-hmm. How is your mom kind of playing into like the hockey world?
Well, my mom, so her dad, like they're a hockey family too. So like both sides played hockey. So she's kind of used to it. So,
Okay, yeah. I know like, so my brother actually is a goalie for the Junior Rangers.
okay.
My mom shits her pants every time he goes on the ice because it's like so scary. And like his first win in juniors, I don't know if you remember, but Central Penn Panthers was like in the P, I think 2 years ago. And that was like his first time in juniors. And like, she would cry every game. So but I think it's a little bit different for goalies, right?
Yeah, no, that's probably different.
Yeah.
Like my mom doesn't get like that, but my grandma will get like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
I can totally see that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for doing this interview. And I will keep up with you next season. So be sure to keep doing what you're doing. And I will talk to you later.
All right. Sounds good. Thank
Bye.
you.
This week, we're kicking off a top 10 countdown for the plays of the year with the 87's, including both the EHL and Premier teams. Starting off at number 10 is a beautiful goal by Payton Jones on a give and go with Anthony Tavares. We picked this play because it shows the 200-foot game that Payton Jones was able to develop throughout the season and the chemistry he has with Anthony Tavares, really forming a dynamic duo for the Premier team. So here it is, beautiful give and go leading to a goal by Payton Jones as our number 10 play of the year.
In the corner, he loses it. It goes all the way across the Rainier on his backhand, throws it across the crease, and it's broken up by Payton Jones, and he'll skate it out. Across to the far side, one-timer in front, they score! Payton Jones on a beautiful setup by Anthony Tavares.